Good day. It's a good hour instead of saying good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whatever. So, good hour. I don't know where you are. This slides were produced by Margaret Hill, and I don't owe any right of this particular slides. Everything in there has been done by Margaret Hill, and the book, which talks of customer service, Skills for Success, was written by Robert W. Lucas. And so we just have these slides alongside with the book. Okay, so all rights of this is for Margaret Hill. It is through my affiliation with Elite College that made me got access to the slides, and I've already indicated that earlier. Okay, so now we are on chapter 5 of customer service, and the chapter talks of listening to the customer. Okay, learning outcomes. So learning outcomes describe why listening is important to customer service. Learning outcome. We now look at listening. Why is important to customer service? Define the 4 steps in the listening process. We'll look at the characteristics of a good listener. We'll recognize the causes of listening breakdown. We'll look at developing strategies to improve your listening ability. We'll look at information gathering techniques. Learn to better serve customers. We'll look at concept discussed to generate meaningful responses and what have you. Now, when we say listening, we have active listening, we have passive listening. But listening means that there's encoding, there's decoding, there's a message sent, there's a feedback whatsoever. And active listeners are those who listen and don't miss any point. And listening can really take place in a good environment, devoid of noise, and then all the filters must also be at work. So effective listening, or listening effectively, we say that it helps customer service professionals determine customer needs. If the customer service really is into effective listening, it helps the customer service professional determine customer needs. Many service providers are complacent about listening. So a study by Rap G. Nichols showed the average white-collar worker in the US has only 25% listening efficiency, which is very bad. I think it's supposed to go up. If that is the peg, it's supposed to go up. To effectively deal with customers, you must listen to their needs, want, issues. How do you show others that you are listening as they speak? How do you do that? Are you maintaining eye contact? Are you paying attention, not talking at the same time when they are talking? Will you make them land before you provide feedback? Do you ask for clarity? So these are very, very important. Of ambiguous sentence, statements, or words in context. These are very important. Now, so for instance, let's look at these. And this is very, very, very serious. So if, for instance, look at this chart. This is a missed opportunity chart based on the 25% efficiency rate we are talking about. The listening that we are saying is pegged based on a 25% efficiency rate on customer service in the US. So these are opportunities. The first column is opportunities. The second is action taken, and then the impact that will come more on the company, on the organization. So one person can make an impact that will yield in a lot of revenue. Another person can do the reverse. So every customer service personnel is very, very important to deal with. Now let's go. So opportunities, 100 customers a day, each with a $10. So 100 customers a day, each with a $10. Okay, that's it. That's the first one. Then you go to the second one. So if 100 customers a day, each with a $10 of order. So if these 100 customers a day each come to you with a $10 order, action taken. So that if 25 orders were filled successfully, then it means that you are going to lose 750 every day for orders that are not filled successfully, and that is going to affect you. So you're going to lose a revenue of 273,750 per year. So that's why customer service is very, very important. So 100 customers a day, if all the orders are filled, then how much are you making? You're making good money. Okay? But out of these 100, we say that 75 were not filled well. And so loss of revenue is how much? Now let's look at the second row in the column. So you see that 1,000 customers went to a store in one day. 250 were serviced properly. So 1,000. So the 750 who were dissatisfied, what happens? They won't come again. So customer service is not a joke. 1 million members were eligible for membership renewal in an association. 250,000 returned the application after receiving a reminder call. So you lose 750,000 members. So customer service is very, very important, and it's supposed to be quality. And every organization should think about their customer-centric approach and everything. We say active listening has a process, and true listening is active, and it's a learned process. True listening is an active learned process. Hearing is a physiological process of gathering sound waves through the ear canal. So we hear by gathering sound waves through the ear canal. But as to whether listening took place, it takes another time. Hearing and receiving the message. Hearing and receiving the message. Excuse me. So we have to hear and we have to receive the message. So if you hear and you don't receive the message, then then we have to attend to the message, comprehend or assign meaning to the message. It has to be memorable. It has to be committed to memory and recognized. We need to respond. So hearing, receiving the message, attending, comprehending, assigning meaning, memory, and recognition, and we do respond. Now we see. So we hear, we receive, we attend, we comprehend, we assign meaning, and we do what? We respond. So before you can respond, you have to hear by receiving the message. You attend to what you have heard, you comprehend and assign meaning, and you respond. Okay. In analyzing customers' message, ask yourself the following questions. Am I practically active listening? Am I practicing active listening skills? You need to ask yourself these questions, right? What message is the customer trying to get across? What does the customer want or need me to do in response to his or her message? Should I take notes or remember key points being made? Am I forming premature conclusions or do I need to listen further? Are there biases or distractions I need to avoid? Is the customer failing to provide information needed to make a sound decision? What other feedback clues are being provided in addition to words? Are they important message meaning? What questions do I need to ask as a follow-up to customer's message? What should I do or stop doing while listening to my customer? These are questions that are very, very important and need to be asked. successful listening is essential to service excellence. If we talk of successful listening, we'll now look at empathy. Empathy. We'll look at understanding, patience, attentiveness, objectivity. Now, look at this. Effective listeners are respectful. Effective listeners are focused. Effective listeners are responsive. Effective listeners are led. Effective listeners are understanding. Effective listeners are caring. Effective listeners are empathetic. Effective listeners are unemotional. Effective listeners are interested. Effective listeners have patience. They are cautious, open, and as they are acceptable, or they practice acceptance. Now, look at if we say effective listener is respectful. Ineffective listener is rude. When the effective listener is focused, then you will see that the ineffective listener is inattentive. One is responsive, the other one is uncaring, the other one is alert, the other one is distracted. One is understanding, the other one is unconcerned. One is caring, one is insensitive. One is empathetic, one is smug, conceited. One is unemotional, one is emotionally involved. One is interested, one is self-centered. One is patient, one is judgmental. One is cautious, one is disorganized. One is open, one is defensive. There's acceptance and then there's denial. So, if we look at active listening, it involves complete attention, readiness, willingness to take action, and an open mind to evaluate customers and determine their needs. What should customer service professionals do to achieve these goals of active listening? What do? You need to listen. You need to get the message. You need to respond to the message. What do? You need to act on the message. You have to attend meaning to the message. You see, this is very important, because before you can respond, you need to hear and receive the message. You have to attend to the message. You have to assign meaning to the message before you can respond. So responding to a message goes through stages. You have to receive the message. After receiving the message, you need to attend to the message. After attending to the message, you have to assign meaning to the message. After assigning meaning to the message, you need to respond to the message. And these are very, very important. These are very, very important. Okay. That's the basic logic about it. Okay. Causes of listening breakdown. Personal obstacles. Personal obstacles causes listening breakdown. Biases. There are biases because then we have psychological distractors. So personal obstacles, biases, psychological distractors, physical condition. Physical condition is also very important. So personal obstacles, biases, psychological distractors, physical condition, and circadian rhythm. The circadian rhythm is also important. We have preoccupation, employee assistance program can provide counseling and hearing loss. So circadian rhythm, physical condition, preoccupation, psychological distractors, biases, personal obstacles, they are very, very key. They are very, very key in discussing the issue of listening breakdown. Yeah, so personal obstacles, biases, psychological distractors, physical condition, circadian rhythm, preoccupation, employee assistance programs can provide counseling and hearing loss. Listening skill level. thought speed, listening skill level, thought speed, the lag time, listening gap, faulty assumptions. If any of the following events, if any, if any of the following events occur, if any of the following events occur, you may need to refocus. If any of the following events occur, you may need to refocus. Customers, customers specifically asked to speak to or be served by someone else. Customers specifically ask to speak to or be served by someone else. You find yourself missing key details of conversations. You regularly have to ask people to repeat information. You end phone calls or personal encounters not knowing for sure what action is required of you. Customers often make statements such as, "Did you hear what I said? Are you listening to me?" Or, "You are not listening." You find yourself daydreaming or distracted as a customer is speaking. You miss nonverbal cues sent by the customer or others as the two of you communicate. And then we can also talk about the fact that um, did you hear what I said? Are you listening to me or you are listening? You find yourself daydreaming or distracted as a customer is speaking. You miss you miss nonverbal cues sent by the customer. You miss nonverbal cues sent by the customer or others as the two of you communicate. You often make mistakes. You often make mistakes or find that you do not have the details needed uh, to properly address the customer or effectively complete a task. So you also answer a question incorrectly because you did not actually listen to it. These are very, very important, and I keep on stressing on the fact that we have to properly serve customers, and so we have to completely complete a task, and these are very, very important, and we need to look at these things very, very, very well. Yeah. Okay, you also answer a question incorrectly because you didn't actually listen to it. Okay, and these are things we need to look at very well. External obstacles. The external obstacles, we have information overload. External obstacles, we have information overload. Other people talking, ringing phones, office and maintenance equipment, speaker phones, cell phones, physical barriers. These are all external obstacles. If the information is overload, other people are talking, there's a ringing phones, there's office and maintenance equipment, there's a speaker phone, there's a cell phone, physical barriers. These are external, and we need to look at all this. Controlling external distractions are also key. And we say employees rarely have control over external distractions in the workplace. Employees, they have less control of external distractions, but we need to look at it, and we need to look at how to. So employees rarely have control over external distractions in the workplace. What are some strategies to help cope with a noisy work environment? And we say some of the causes of the listening breakdown. We have already talked about the fact that additional obstacles to effective listening. We say message senders' inability to effectively convey the message. Message senders' inability to effectively convey the message. Then we say the language barriers. Language barriers. Language barriers. We have the speech or physical disability. We have customers' poor communication skills, and these are very important. So we say message senders' inability to effectively convey the message. We have the language barriers of the speech or physical disability of the customer's poor communication skills. So, strategies for improved listening. For instance, stop talking. Stop talking. Behavioral styles. Prepare yourself. Listen actively. You show a willingness to listen. Show empathy. Stop talking. Stop talking. Behavioral styles: prepare yourself, listen actively, show a willingness to listen, show empathy. Stop talking. Behavioral styles. You prepare yourself. Stop talking. The behavioral styles. You have to prepare yourself. You have to listen actively. You have to show willingness to listen, and you have to show empathy. This is very important. Strategies for improved listening. You have to listen. You have to listen for concept. You have to listen for concept. Listen openly. Listen for concept. Listen openly. Send positive non-verbal cues. Congruence. You do not argue. You take notes if necessary, especially if information is complicated or involves many details. You verify understanding with customer. Note taking can help focus listening and later aid recall of discussion on topics. What system do you use to take note while talking on the phone or to follow up on customer issues? We have the open-ended questions used to engage others in conversation or to gain input and ideas. Identify customer needs, gather a lot of information, uncover background data, uncover objections during a sale, provide a customer an opportunity to speak. Closed-ended questions solicit short, one-syllable answers, verifying information, closing an order, gaining agreement, clarifying information. Avoid criticism. Ask only positively phrased questions. Ask direct questions. Ask customers how you can better serve. That is from McGraw-Hill. I owe no rights of any of these. Thank you so much.